Welcome to the Smoking Word.
What's up, everybody? We are back, and you know the deal. The Smoking Word podcast is brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. That's where you go to support the show. That's my web store. We got t-shirts, we got slides, we got everything for you, her, and whoever wants something to look fly in. So CasaDeRock.com if you want to support the show. And when you hear this, as a matter of fact, when you hear this, tomorrow we will be in Reno, Nevada. We are back. This is going to be our last weekend for a while, everybody. So I recommend that you make it out to these shows if you can make it. We're going to be with Lionheart and a couple other people. But we're playing Reno. We're playing Punk Rock Bowling with H2O, but that's sold out already, but roll up anyway. Bet on Brown. And we'll be in Santa Ana after that, and we're playing LA to end it off. And like I said, we don't know when the next show is going to be for a while, so make sure you come out if you're on the west side. Shout out to everybody in the West Coast who's already copped those tickets and all that. And I'll see you there. Punk Rock Bowling, H2O, go, yo. But CasaDeRock.com, like I said, all t-shirts are $21. I don't remember if I said that. That's how we're celebrating 2021. And big shout out to my Patreon family. I hope you've been enjoying that footage we put up. We got some more footage about to drop. Everybody out there, Patreon, that's how you support the show. If you want the show to keep going, if you like what you hear, if you want to throw something for the cause, Patreon is the spot you go. Patreon.com/the Smoking Word. That's where you go and invest in the show. We got 4 tiers. You get exclusive footage. As our patrons, what we do, I take my people on the road with me. So if you want to see that behind the scenes footage from this Punk Rock Bowl in Las Vegas, me winning $1 million on Brown, Los Angeles, and all that good shit, go to the Patreon. And to my whole Patreon family, hey, especially my new patron, yo, Scoof, what up? That's my man, Pittsburgh. Good to see you in Pittsburgh. And shout out to everybody who came out to Pittsburgh, as a matter of fact. And before I go on, I want to shout out Gore for taking us on those last couple of shows. Shout out to Gore. Shout out to I Hate God, and shout out to all those fucking motherfucking barbarians from other planets and all that good shit. But follow me, Hoya Rock 357 on Instagram. Follow the Smoking Word podcast on Instagram. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We are gonna go nuts on that, and we are about to drop a lot of things. Just wait. We've been busy with these last couple of shows, but we're about to take the Smoking Word and Smoking Word TV to where no podcast has taken it before. So rock with us. Catch that wave with us and all that good shit. Support the movement. Big shout out to the Hella Hot Sauce family. Like I said, supporting me with the big jugs of hot sauce. Shout out to the Cali Care Group for keeping me mentally stable. Trust me, get Cali Care Group. Be about it. You know what's up. Rick the Straps. Warren, you know what's up. Kai, you know what's up. Best straps in the game. And always, you know what? I want to shout out again my people in Cortex, because I was thinking about my people in Berlin and that I haven't been in Europe for a while. And I was like, you know what? I missed the family back in freaking Kreuzberg. So shout out to Cortex. And and listen, on this episode, we're going to have a reoccurring guest, but this time he's coming back with something new. And I figured, let's throw some shine on it, because I heard some good things coming out of it. And I wanted him to, catch you up to speed with it. So my brother Richie from Wisdom and Change, but this time he's back with that Z9 shit. Let's set this shit off. Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how you got such a cool background, man?
Listen. Come on, I like your background. That green screen looks real.
Yeah, it's
Yo,
real. It's a real basement.
I know. I like. I wait. You see, that's dope. A real basement.
A
My
real
shit
basement.
is. This shit is fake. My friend.
Nah, you're in a graffiti alley. You got people that
You
you
know.
got famous graffiti artists doing your stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm in a studio in Burbank. You remember back in the day, everything was in Burbank studios. When we
Yeah.
were kids, every TV show was
I
on
do remember
Burbank
that.
from Burbank Studios. What up, kid? First of all, let me see
Burbank's
that
probably a hood.
T-shirt. Hold on, let me see that T-shirt. Gorilla Biscuit. Yo, that's a dope T-shirt.
I got that on the last tour we did.
On which one? The Persistence?
Yeah, Persistence. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yo, I gotta say, they definitely probably get the award for the craziest T-shirt award goes to Civ, right? Yo,
The
you
ugliest shit ever, but people buy it up.
That's what I'm saying. You froze up there for a second. You're a little froze right now. Well, where you is? You're frozen.
I'm at home.
There you go.
It's
Oh,
not good to service or what?
No, you're you're a little choppy. I don't know what's up right there in the Poconos or wherever.
Yeah. It's. I see you freezing too.
No, but it ain't me. It ain't me.
Shit, let's see what's going on.
No, but it's where I bet right now. I think we're good so far. Move around a little bit, yo. Electric boogie. Nah, you good. You good now. You bobbing and weaving. All right.
Yeah, it says I got good service. I don't know.
No, you're not. Maybe it was just Zoom glitch.
Maybe because I was saying the merchandise is ugly looking and
The
Civ
straight
got
edge
control
police
of
after you.
the internet.
You see,
Who
every
knows?
time we say something negative against the straight edge regime,
It
even
did it
though-
again.
yeah, they gave you a little bit of that robot voice, but we good. You're back. But
All right,
but what's up? What you been up to,
Give
dude?
it a shot. Not working, busting my ass, working, injuries. It's not easy, baby. You know the deal.
What injury?
I hurt my back at work. I had to get an MRI. Got 3 slip discs, some torn
Oh,
annulars, donuts or whatever.
wow.
That I'm shot.
And you knew when it happened, or it was something that was already fucking with you for a while.
Well, I knew when it happened. I was throwing these 80-pound bags of concrete over this fence, and on the last one, I felt something go out.
That'll do it to you.
Yo, and I was like, yo, wait a minute. Like
Oh,
I got home, and the next day I couldn't even move.
ain't the worst feeling, right?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. And that's something that's funny you talk about that. Obviously what happened to you was because of working and shit. But I tell dudes, especially guys in the 40s, listen, forget about training just to live longer. But guys, we got to train our lower backs because in general, that goes on us. So you got to build up your lower backs because in general, we're going to lose that. And exactly, it's just going to go. It's one of those things. It's like, and when that goes, your whole body goes, oh, that's the worst.
Yo, you know what? It's funny. The Irish guys from Ireland call Irish American guys, they call them narrowbacks because they say they got weak backs.
Yeah. So what? You know what they call Mexicans? Oh, wait. I love this crowd. Viva Mexico.
Canceled. You're canceled.
Canceled. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, if I was getting canceled, that mean like I'm somebody, So I'd be like,
since you're talking to someone with South American roots like me, you could get away with it. But if it was a regular white guy, you couldn't get away.
A regular white guy, because you're not just a regular white guy.
My grandmother was born in Colombia, son.
I forget. Yeah, I know. No, I like that though. Not for nothing. There are Colombians that look like you. I know when you went out there, you saw a lot of them, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They do. There's a lot of like Italian.
I even see blondies down there. Blonde people.
Of course. What do you think? We all look like Apocalypto? I know what you people for the Poconos thing.
I thought everybody looked like an Easter Island statue down there. And then I go,
that's what I'm saying. Like Apocalypto of stand-ins.
Yeah, that was a great movie though.
How hard is Apocalypto? One of the best, hardest movie with the ugliest people in the world. That casting was horrible. Like it was great because the people were hard to look at.
Yo, could that shit be real though? Like sacrificing 30,000 people in a clip?
Yes.
Wow.
you know, it's like what's happening right now. I'm joking. I'm not gonna get into it. I was just talking. I'm just talking shit. I don't even want to go. Yo, I'm
Nah,
about. Nah, don't even start.
I'll go there.
I know you
I
want to
like
go.
that kind
Now,
of
now that
stuff.
you want to go there, I know you go there. I'm like, but what's going on? I don't want. You see, I don't want to go into that. But what I will say is, I was just talking about it with who the fuck was I just talking about it? With my son and just and somebody else. I was like, who else? No, somebody was just telling me about oh, we got these shows coming up, and I'm like, yeah, you know, yeah, cool. And they're like, oh, but Rob, shout out to Rob and Born for Pain, and he was like, yo, man, I can't wait till you come out here. Yo, we got to do this, and then he was like, yo, do you think there will be a next time? You know, and I swear to God, I don't want to be like a dick. Because and I'm not Mr. PMA. Like, again, that's Toby's lane. But, and I am, I'm looking forward or whatever. But things are looking very, 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 times are really, not they're changing, they've changed and are changing. You know what I mean? And
Well, what
the
I'm going
way
to tell you is this: times are changing for the worse, but you got to keep a positive outlook.
Thank you. Again, I don't want to say that we were talking that shit before that shit, but whatever. Thank you. But I really said, yo, honestly, I don't think, and not on some negative shit, just on, there's so many moving pieces that when it does happen, I still don't think it'll be for a while, this whole being able to travel semi-loosely throughout the world. And, our world is everywhere, for Madball, for the people out of the hardcore scene, the people that live off this shit, it's not one place, everybody, everywhere is our home. You know what I mean? Everywhere is like the same spot to a degree. And then now you start taking spots away that it just, I don't know. It's
it seems like it's getting worse, not better. So, at the very least, in my opinion, I'm not pro, I'm not anti. I'm just saying the thing that we were sold that was going to work doesn't work as well as we were told. At the very least, you got to agree with that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, then some people are, the minute you say something that they're like, no, but, and it's like, it ain't about a but we're looking. It's about maybe just think about it or absorb it for a second before there's a but. That's what I tell people in anything, with anything. Because I admit it, I was that dude, the first dude to be like, no, because I like to argue, we both like talk, but we also sit back later on and then we'd be like, all right, we will absorb it. And then later on be like, think about it. And the world is in a really, really crazy fucking spot. And now more than ever, I think is like moving forward. I don't know what the fuck's going to go on. I don't know.
Yeah. Now it's, you can't call it because everything we were told from the get-go has been wrong. It started out, just stay home for 3 weeks and flatten the curve. Come on, like if people are forgetting that every piece of advice we were given has turned out to be wrong, then that's on them. But it's the same with the other anti-vax people calling out you bunch of sheep, you're a bunch of this. That's craziness. And then people that are all about the vax, not even willing to admit that there could possibly be a negative effect here and there. I mean, that's crazy. Just call it how it is.
Exactly.
I see it as like it's there's probably benefits within. There's definitely benefits within the vaccine, but it's not the vaccine that we were sold. It's not vaccines that we came up with, where you get a shot, you get smallpox shot, and you don't get smallpox, and you don't spread smallpox. You get a measles shot, you don't get measles, you don't spread measles. This is different. At the very least, why can't people even admit, okay, yeah, this is different? It is effective in its own way, a different way, but it's a different thing. We were sold that you get the thing, you take off the mask, you're back in activity. It turned out it's not like that. What's next? I don't know. I'm down for whatever, baby.
That's what I say. People always ask me, oh, what do you think of the vaccine? Or what do you think of this? Or what do you think? I just say, I'll let them figure it out. When they figure it out, I'll know when they figure it out. Because every day is a new one. It's something new. It's a new this times 2. Or no, we're going to wait for the super this. The shit to work. Does it work? I'm not a doctor. I got my GED. I got thrown out of school. I played 2 bass strings. I got a black belt in talking shit. That's my specialty. And I'm saying, I don't know, but I know that much. I know that much that
Yeah.
they don't know what the fuck's going on because the same people, like you said, the same people that were selling us something now are finally saying something else, but they're saying, oh yeah, but we got the fix to the mistake. Okay. So
maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. What I do know is personal experience. In recent times, I know 15 different people that were positive with coronavirus, right? Out of those 15, 9 really had like no effects or maybe real small effects. But there were 3 out of that 15 that went to the hospital. Out of the 3, 2 were completely vaxxed, 1 was not.
wow.
The one completely vaxxed was a young guy in the hardcore scene that we all know. I don't want to blow up the spot. That's a very known to be a healthy guy, completely vaxxed in the hospital. Another guy is an older guy in his 50s, kind of like a fatter guy in the hospital. Both, they're not dying, but they went to the hospital. And another guy, unvaccinated, I know down south, very fit, in very good shape, young guy in the hospital. He's out now too. But that's what I'm saying. You got 15 guys, all out of all of those positive, it was like half and half, vaccinated, unvaccinated. And out of the hospitalizations, it's 2 vaxxed in the hospital, 1 not. It's like, so you can't really just say simply, what's going on, because you don't. I don't know what's going on. You can't simply say, I know it works. It's definitely going to work.
Yeah.
If only maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm just not sold like that.
What I always hear every time I say that, I go, what about this? They go, oh, but it would have been worse if we didn't have the vaccine. And maybe there's some truth to that too, but that also seems like, oh no, I don't know. It seems also like
that's a good,
it's like also a good cop out too. Like it could be a cop out, it could be the truth.
Yeah. Out of the 2 guys in the hospital that were vaccinated, people could say, hey, they might have died if they didn't have the vaccine. Probably not. They're probably not going to, but they could have. They could have.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an expert for each side of this argument. Like there is. So when people say follow the science, as a guy watching from home, I see legitimate, educated experts saying the complete opposite thing on every topic there is.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, we won't know what's real, what's fake. You know what I mean? We already kind of don't. So how everybody's so sure of one thing or another is beyond me. I'm not bold enough to talk like that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm down for whatever.
I know. I'm like, originally, it was Madball that was spreading this around the planet. Okay,
Super
now it's obviously the people with the vaccine spreading it. So nobody, it ain't. I don't see no special.
You know what? I saw Guns N' Roses, Hershey Park, PA, tens of thousands of people. Nobody had a mask on. All right, and of course it crosses my mind, just like probably everybody in that place. But like, how is that not a problem? But then a classroom is, you know what I mean? Or a hardcore show is, or either it's a problem or it's not. We see football games on TV, tens of thousands of people in the stadium.
Jam-packed.
Yeah, jam-packed. And it's like, nobody's saying, but people are fighting for kids to go to a classroom of 18 to 20 kids. And that's like do or die, the end of times if we don't cooperate on that one. But we don't even mention the football games, or I don't know. It just seems, as an observer, maybe somebody has a great answer, but maybe somebody doesn't. I just don't know. I question things. I would say to anybody, get the vax. Go ahead if you want. Go get it. You know what I mean? I know tons of people that got it, no problems. I know a couple people that died immediately as soon as they got it. No, I'm just kidding. I made that up.
I was like, word?
No, you know what? I did hear a guy named Ernest.
Hold up, you froze up. You say you heard a guy named Ernest. What? Hold up.
Him?
Yeah, I heard. Now I hear you. You're back.
Ramirez.
I heard now. What happened to him? Say it again.
A guy named Ernest Ramirez.
No, who's that?
Okay, he's a guy. He's a father, and he got his son vaccinated, right? And just telling a story, people will hate me, but I'm just telling the story that I heard.
You're just a messenger.
So he gets his son vaccinated. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there are some negative things out there. And so this goes for the thing you said earlier. I'll tie it in. But so he gets his son vaccinated because he wants to do the right thing. His son immediately gets sick. his heart swelling within 3 or 4
Oh.
days. The kid's dead, double the size. Now, people could say, well, if he didn't get the vaccine, it could be worse. Not in that case. If he didn't get the vaccine, he'd still be alive.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying don't get the vaccine. I'm just saying I don't blame people for being skeptical.
Wow.
How are you going to console a guy like Ernest Ramirez and tell him that he's this or that because he's speaking out against the vaccine? Of course he is now. That's going to be his life mission now because of the situation he was in.
No, I mean, it's definitely crazy. Looking right after the New York show that weekend, I come home and I have a friend, this old punk rock guy. He actually lives in my area, where I live now in Florida, and he works at the Publix, the supermarket. So I see him after the weekend, and I roll up and I'm like, he's like, yo, where you've been? And I thought he knew about the show. And I was like, yo, I'm back. I was mad hype still. I was like, man, this was so crazy. And he goes, yo, did you get vaccinated? And I'm kind of like, nah, I'm no. No. And he's like, yo, don't. And I'm like, yo, what happened? He goes, yo, you don't understand. I just got out the hospital. I said, what happened? He goes, so I guess to work for Publix, you got to get vaccinated. So he was like, all right, I'm going to get vaccinated. I got to get vaccinated. So he was doing I don't know which one, the one you have to do 2 of them, one of them.
Maybe Pfizer or Moderna.
You know what? I think it was the Moderna, I think. And he said, yo, I went for my first one. And when I came to work, he goes, I started feeling, really hard. He goes, yo, my chest started feeling really tight. And he goes, yo, I got so fucked up. My tongue started turning black. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, they told me, yo, right away I had to go to the emergency. So I go to and I live in, in an area, not like downtown Miami. I live in, South Florida, Southwest. But he says he goes to the hospital. He goes, yo, he's in the hospital. He's like fucking bugging out. And he goes, right next to him, they have this girl. Right after him, they bring in a girl. He goes, a couple of hours later, he goes, there was 12, 13 people all having side effects. They must have had a bad batch that wasn't reported, but there was a bad batch that was going because he said there was like 12, 13 people that were all coming in, one after another that were having effects from that shit. And he goes, and the first girl that was brought next to him ended up dying. And he right away grabbed me, he said, don't get. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, whatever. Again, I don't tell people what to do either. My father's vaccinated. He's a older guy. He's fucking walking around, scratching his nuts. He's good to go. So I don't know, whatever. But I'm saying that we hear these stories and you don't know what the fuck is what.
I don't know. Like it's a roll of the dice. I mean, we know so many people vaccinated. They're good.
Yeah.
And it's likely you're going to be good, but anything could happen. So you can't blame somebody. I'm just saying, like, you got the extreme crazies from the Christian right that are like, I don't need a vaccine. God is my vaccination. Okay, they're crazy. Then you got crazy people from the other side that are like, if you don't get vaccine, you shouldn't even deserve to go to the hospital. If you get sick, you should die. They're crazy. There's tribal craziness in this country over a vaccine. It's like, listen, if the vaccine works, in my mind, once you get it, mind your fucking business if it works. Now, if it doesn't work, which I kind of think it's 50-50, I'll get the vaccine in 2 seconds. You just got to come to me, though. I'm not going to you. Give me 5 of them at the same time.
I always say it works. To me, it feels like it might work 50%, 25% of the time with 30% of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I really believe this. That shit might work. It does have that it will work in ways, but it has to match the certain person, what he ends up or she gets up infected with. I think all that comes into play. That it's so, because I've known from personal experience so far with all this that it's done like that. People that have been vaccinated got it. People that haven't been vaccinated, people that supposedly should have died from it, didn't die from it. It's vice versa.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so across the board. Man. Like, it's almost like all the data from 6 months ago is a wash. And let's start all over because now it's all, okay, let's try this again.
Yeah. And a booster just a few months after. To me, it's more of a flu type shot than a vaccine.
Yeah.
Because a vaccine, you don't second guess a vaccine. It's just good to go. Yeah. That's how historically it's been anyway. Mm. This is kind of like a flu shot. It probably could help if it's the right, for the right variant at the right time. It will help. Like the certain flu shots that come out that are on point.
A flu espresso, like an espresso. Yeah. That shit.
Sometimes they do flu shots though, because they're estimating a certain variant style. and the flu shot they put out doesn't work. And then that year you got a high rate of flu. I think this is similar to more of like a therapeutic than a vaccine. But what do I know besides everything? I think I know everything, but that's how I go. You want a doctor want to argue with me any fucking time? You come on Hoy's podcast, you debate me.
Bring
any
the
scientist,
fucking
any
noise.
doctor. I got Google. I got John Joseph. I'll use them. I don't need a PhD or GMD or whatever they got.
I got an R2D2.
I got an R2D2 or C3PO and all of that.
What do you think? What do you
I just
think?
love knowing that some people are aggravated right now.
Oh, absolutely. There's a definitely people. Oh, you forget it. The minute you say one thing, it's automatic. You chose a side, and I'm like, and you know, yeah, we all do our little research, but at the end of the day, unless we're fucking Mav, we're all fucking real gorillas. We all should not. Neither one of us should listen to each other.
No. And listen, people at home, if you say you're anti-vaccine, I'm going to tell you why you should take the vaccine. That's just in my nature. I can't help it.
Yeah.
So please don't hate me. But I get, if you say you're a Republican, I'll tell you why you should be a Democrat. If you say a Democrat, I'll tell you why you should be a
because I'll just say this why I won't listen to a lot of these medical, stuff from my friends. One of my very, very, very good brother friends who I consider a very smart guy, who is a very smart guy, also showed me how to stop.
Rhoda, probably.
Who also showed me how to stop a fan with my tongue. You know what I mean? So Matt Henderson, shout out to Matty Henderson out there. But you know what I mean? Like, we're like, we're even the crazy, as smart as we may be, unless you're a doctor. And even then, as we're seeing, even the doctors don't know. But with the doctors, we can at least give them a 50-50 chance of maybe I'm picking a right guy who might know something about something that nobody knows about.
Yeah. I'm with doctors. I like doctors.
But doctors.
In fairness, there's some doctors that are telling you the complete opposite of the next doctor. Then what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Yeah. Everything's a roll of the dice in this life, baby. Live or die, laugh or cry. It's all the same, Hoya. You know that. To be or not to be. We don't give a fuck.
Listen, what do you think is going to be, though, really, the future of touring? Like, okay, right now, obviously, so we just came back. We did some shows with War and I Hate God. And, obviously there's stuff that people are doing, and I'm seeing how the big, the big bands are on tour. And like we said, there's football games going on, so I don't know how stuff is getting policed. If it's getting policed in some places, which I heard in New York, I heard you can't go in a store without showing something, or like
you could go in the store, but you can't stay in there and eat. I went into a pizza place last week downtown, and the guy said, you staying or you taking this to go? And I said, why? He said, if you're staying, you need a vaccination card in a regular pizza place. But you could go in there, you could order, then you got to bounce. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy, right?
That shit
because like we said, that there's football games going on, but I can't go in a pizza place with 4 other people sitting at a get out.
I've been in Walmart.
No matter what you believe, you got to admit that's goofy.
Listen, without picking a side, I've been in Walmart all pandemic, and that's just been jam-packed.
Jam-packed. And they're going to stay jam-packed because they're not going to allow any government agency to make a rule that makes them lose profits. So they're going to stay jam-packed. But the local guy who independently owns a little diner and can fit 13 people max on there, he's now half of his business is gone.
But this is why I ask you. This is why I ask you, because you've been lucky enough to be one of the bands to travel Europe a lot, enough times to know, we make friends that are from these staple clubs in Europe or even in America, but they're little bars, little clubs, but they're staples, but they're not going to be there. And a lot of them are not there no more. What do you think moving on in our world is going to look like? You think it's going to be the same, less? What do you think, how you see realistically that shit moving forward?
I think at some point, it's just not going to be interesting to the public. And once the media realizes, they're not really biting on this, ratings are going down, I think things will normalize when they find the next way to cause hysteria or the next big story. I hope so. It's wishful thinking, but that's a possibility.
Shout out to Toby, man, the PMA. Yeah. that because I was a little bit of Toby right there. You got me like, yo, that sounds.
Toby say, man,
like,
it's gonna be fine, man.
He's like, yeah,
Come
yeah,
on, man.
He's like, no, that sounded great. I legit for a second says, wow, I never thought about it. That would be great because I don't see it in that positive, and not to be negative. It's just.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a hard one to rebound from, and not that it would ever rebound fully because it's not. That's for sure. But
there'll be lingering rules. But remember when we first invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, it was news, and it would have stayed news as long as there was still interest.
Yeah.
But at some point, as the Americans that we are, we're like,
finicky.
I don't give a fuck. All right, I'm changing this channel, going back to HBO. No more. And then they got like, oh, they're scrambling. They got to find the next thing. And it still existed for 20 years without being on the news like it was early on. And for those first 2 years, it's just bombarded into your head. So hopefully the hysteria fades and then things are pulled back and things get normalized to a degree. Because, I mean, at some point, there's too many contradictions. Like, if you're willing to have Guns N' Roses play and you don't need a mask, but you're not willing to have kids sit in a school without a mask, then it's just people at some point, it just doesn't make much sense, like what science, they're not giving us really any science to back those type of things. Not that I want to see Guns N' Roses not play. I want both to happen. I want kids to be happy and having fun in school, and I want Guns N' Roses to keep on rocking in a crowded stadium.
Now, there's always news happening. And I'm not trying to go into this as the next to be like, oh, this next subject, but there's all this shit going on at the border where all these people coming through the border or whatever. But do you think that without getting into that, I start thinking, are they just doing that to detour a little bit off this a little bit to whatever they want to do next, And
I think the border is like legitimate worthy news.
No, that for sure.
Right now, anyway. Not the typical day-to-day border activity, but the Haitian border activity.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I'm seeing a lot of that, obviously that's foul shit or, however you want to look at it.
What do you think, though? You got, the Haitian president is assassinated out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. Then all of a sudden they get a devastating earthquake, cities and villages reduced to rubble. Of course, these people are leaving now. This isn't just 10,000 Haitians at the border because Joe Biden is president.
Of course.
Which a certain network will make it out to seem.
Yeah.
There was a natural disaster and a government, it could be a whole coup going on down there. So these people are running.
Absolutely.
I say we let all of these fucking people in here. We let them all in. This is what we do. We say the top 5 countries that we give money to, the richest countries, Israel, Saudi Arabia. We're giving these very profitable countries billions of dollars in aid. We say 3% less from each of them. That's going to cover all of these people who are legitimately looking for a new home because their last one was devastated. Yeah, we're going to use the money for that. No stress off the taxpayer. Richie Mancuso for president 2024.
Yeah, but that's also forgetting when we have enough poor people in our own country first that are not getting taken care of, and veterans, that as much as we wish we could help everybody, unfortunately, we can't.
We can't.
Like as handsome as I am, I can't date every supermodel.
Listen, we can help these people. We can. As soon as this whole pandemic kicked in, we had unlimited supply of money to stop everything and send this and that. Why couldn't we do this earlier? Listen, I'm going to tell you a real number here right now. Pfizer, you know what they make a day right now?
A billion trillion.
And 11 million a day they're pulling in profits from the deal that they got from the Trump administration. Okay. And I throw that out there because a lot of Trumpers act like Trump is separate from the vaccination when he's really one of the roots of it with Operation Warp Speed. He ushered this in, and they say, oh, Mr. President, that's very risky. These things take time. Well, it's got to be right away. Come on, guys, we got to do it. But it's too risky. Okay, I'll stop you from being liable. No one can sue you. Just get it done. Here's the money. Next thing you know, 4 different companies have a vaccine to offer. Like, it was just free money for them, and it still is. So the money is there to help poor people. The money's there to help veterans. but we always just help the same small group of people. Every administration that comes in, the only thing they ever pass is a tax break for very rich people, Democrat or Republican. They run on this, they run on that, they never get it done. But when that tax break is in, both sides come together and they vote it right through.
No, but for sure, there's that going on. But that still doesn't change if we should change from the inside out before you help your family in the house before you help the people outside.
I would help them first.
That's all I say.
Yeah.
And you know what? I see in the street, I see things of LA. There's a lot of motherfuckers that need help out there. I see motherfuckers camping on it's insane. Yeah. Like cities.
You should see Philadelphia, Kensington. It's disgusting.
Crazy.
But you know what a lot of it is? Fentanyl. Yeah. And where does fentanyl come from? Who approved fentanyl? Or the same woman that approves the COVID vaccine, by the way. I'm just stating a real fact. I'm not saying anything's good or bad. But now you got fentanyl in the mix. It devastated this whole country. Like, it made drug addicts out of so many people. And it's something we're dealing with now through homelessness in all these major cities. And you're right. We're not going to help them. And it will appear like we help foreigners before them. But I'm the type of guy to help both. And I know I know there's enough money in the mix. I know there's enough money in the mix to help both.
They might be, but obviously they're not spreading it out like that. So I'm like, when they do, it got to be in-house first. That's just what my opinion, whatever it be. It's like, we got to help our problem first before we can help everybody else's problem. And my thing is this, not that they don't need help, but at the same time, there's a fucking pandemic going on. There's a lot. This is the roughest time to be taking anybody anywhere. And also, like, when people are worried about sending their kids to school, let alone freaking letting whoever the fuck wants to come in now, knowing whatever could happen. Who knows?
I get what you're saying, but what do you say? Do you say to these 10,000 people who just had their country devastated and are holding their babies, do you say, nah, get out of here? Because we got some homeless people here we got to take care of first.
I don't say nothing.
I say if the problem comes to your doorstep and you can help as an American, you open the door and you let them in. That's an American. If I have a neighbor,
that sounds great.
Listen,
but that ain't real.
If my wife's in here and she's sick, but I hear my neighbor crying outside the door, banging, help me, please. You coming in too, buddy. I know my wife comes first. She's in here. I'll take care of her, but you're coming in too. That's how we got to operate. USA for USA, of course. But then also take care of our neighbors.
I
2024, rich man.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Again, we all need help. Unfortunately, life's a bitch, and I'm not trying to sound like cold-hearted. And those people need help.
It's cold,
and I wish my arms were big enough that I could hug the planet and embrace them. But unfortunately, that shit don't happen like that. So I worry about my mind and first how I could take care of them in this world that's not fair. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not. I hear you. What you're saying is the right thing. The 101 thing to say. The Gandhi-like thing to say. Hey, and by the way, Gandhi's shady. I saw some shit on Gandhi, and
he likes
shady
women.
Dude.
He likes the women's. What?
There's nothing wrong with liking women's because I like women's. But you know what I heard Gandhi was doing? He was sleeping with his granddaughters. That's some sick shit, by the way.
Like boning them or just like sleeping with them?
I heard he was sleeping with them to test himself to see if he would have any what do you call it? Urges.
With his granddaughter?
Listen, don't quote me, but Google that shit, yo. Anyway. All you Gandhi lovers don't hate me. It's just something I heard. I'm just a messenger.
Great. But, we just made Gandhi t-shirts for the band. Now we got to get rid of them all.
Let
me ask you this. They say, Hoya Rock, we need you at the White House right now. They fly you in. They say, Hoya Rock, we're going to allow you one policy, and we'll get it done. What is it?
Free medical for everybody.
Wow, Bernie Sanders guy. I like that.
No. He has a lot of. Call me what you want, but I think it's just in life that there's really two things. It comes down to eating and you need that because we all gonna get old and throughout our journey in life, we have these things that happen where medical I think comes into it's almost like air.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need it's like that important. It's insurance. It is like life insurance is really your insurance on your life, and hopefully you never have to cash in. But in my life, in many ways, I saw it come into play where I get it when we used to see the old Italian dudes, yo, and they used to be the richest dudes that we used to say, man, these guys got it all. They used to be like to good health, never to more money, never to know nothing. You're like, they got it all. The flyest girls, the nicest cars, brand new, and they used to be like, to good health. What would I get for another 10 years? And he used to be like, you get blah, blah, blah. Now, like now I'm like, if a day I could wake up where where I could complain about, oh, my arm is sore. And that's the worst about my health for the day. I'm winning.
Yeah.
And there's fucking, there's, health is so much, like, you know what I mean? I know guys that got a lot of money and they're connected to a dialysis machine. Yo, that shit, all that. Oh, shout out to anybody who has that shit, like it's rough. Again, unfortunately, it's a fact. Like, like that just is so important that
that's a good choice. I like that you picked that.
And I think everybody then that way is like nobody could complain. Now it's like, what? Okay, yo, now it's on you. Because there's some people that it sucks. They have health issues or problems. They don't get taken care of and they're left to rot. And then the families
prices of some of this stuff are ridiculous.
And listen, I know I had a deal. Listen, I dealt with seeing, what they charge for like an ambulance ride. They are charging you for an ambulance ride that's a mile, 2 miles long for $2,000-$3,000.
It's an insult. It's a national embarrassment that we don't even talk about.
It's crazy. And again, that's the one thing I'm like, I always used to say, like, look at, thank God, we have friends, we work. And on top of that, even during tough times, we have friends and we have people and we come from a scene in a world where we look out for each other. It's just what we do. Not everybody got that. A lot of people don't have that.
We have community. Yes.
And a lot of other people have one that they say they have one, but doesn't act like one. The good part about our world, even if they're fake, and they'll chip in just to be down, but it's still at the end of the day helps the cause, even if it's temporary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if they're doing it just for the show, whatever, it's gonna help the at the end of the day, the real shit. The roots of where we come from. You know what I mean?
Totally.
A lot of people don't have that. I've seen people that well-off people that you think, oh, they be able to cover it, and then they're a crisis comes, they don't got nobody, and they're reaching out.
They don't have a friend in the world.
And their friends they're reaching out to are not really like. They're friends that would be like to us, acquaintances more than friends, but that's all they have.
Yeah.
Then you know what I mean? It's so weird. I'm like, wow, we, again, the roots and what we come up with now, a lot of our people are the same people we grew up with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that.
That's why I hate to see this community fighting with each other over
this bullshit,
over politics and vaccines and stuff that really. It's just, how about we just let the guy slide, let the gal slide if she decides to do something that we aren't completely fond of. How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we worry about at home first.
I agree. And that's that's what I said. I've been saying it. I know people that are fucking, they would get batted down for each other, that won't talk to each other because of two rich motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about them, who never talked about them, who will never go to one of their shows, who will never crank call them, who will never email them, who will never cop a t-shirt from them, who will never fucking punch them in the arm, who will never give them a hug, who will never kiss them in the fucking head, but they will cut off people they know for years because of a belief they have, which obviously, we die hard, but dude, big picture. I tell people, and I was telling my boy that not too long ago, where you said, I said, we got to go from, we got to work. Instead of worrying about the world changing it from the outside in, we change from the inside out.
Yeah.
Our family, watch our people, our community. Let's worry about that. If there was perfect unity before this, we would have had, there was never fully unity. Hardcore was always a work in progress. Now it's more split up than ever.
Yeah. Because you have to. It's like you're called out on your beliefs. What do you believe on this? Whether you say, even I don't like, I hate cops. Oh, really? I don't find cops too bad. Boom, beef right there.
Yeah.
All right. The BLM march. Oh man, I don't think they should have burnt down the places. They didn't burn down the places. They're doing good. Boom, beef right there. Every little thing now, some beef over stuff that doesn't involve us.
Yes.
That's outside world stuff. Those people are outsiders.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, to me, they're civilians. So I don't really sweat what they're doing out there. Now, of course, if there's extreme views within this that we have dealt with in the past, of course, racism, you know, self-proclaimed Nazis. I mean, I don't think young people in the scene knew at one time there was people who called themselves Nazis.
We dealt with real motherfucking
they said they were Nazis. They appeared to be Nazis, and they lived by that. And that's who we had beef with. And then the guy who's a simple redneck that's in the scene, but he's not there's differences. There's levels.
Absolutely. You know, any young guns listening to this, you know, with all due respect, some white guy who may say a racist slur is not Nazi. He's a dummy. He may be a whatever the other word is, but we dealt with Nazis that would have swastikas tattooed on their faces, that would dress like Hitler. Do you understand? Like, we would personally beat the crap. We would beat these people into the sidewalk. That's why we laugh when people call some like suburban kid who happens to have some money a Nazi, when he's just maybe a moron. Not that he not even may have some without saying some racial shit, of course. Listen,
it's like a guy who imitates a Chinese accent is not the same as the guy you just explained with the swastika. They're not the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay? So don't let them offend you the same.
Exactly.
Don't go like, there are actual real enemies out there, and just if you're not even aware who they are, you're lost in life. You're useless to your own tribe. You know. If you don't recognize your enemies, what good are you?
Yeah, you know, and that's crazy. And, you know, and I think a lot about, obviously, because music is our life. And I think about, you know, the future of just in general, how the old bands are going to move on. And then all the new music that's coming out of it. That's why it was also like, I know you were working on this, but I also said before this kind of was coming up, I was saying what's going to happen is bands are going to disappear, and there's going to be spin-offs and other stuff popping up, you know, because the bug is gonna hit people two ways, where they're gonna let themselves go, like, you know what I mean, or you're gonna, you know, 2.0 everything. So when I heard about this, you kind of was saying shit to me, and I didn't know directly was what, and then I started hearing more and more, but I didn't know what was what, and then later on I was like, all right, but I didn't know who was in the band. And then
before you even talk about that, let's mention what you just. How about Roger's situation from Agnostic Front? So me and Joe Hardcore were talking. We're like, imagine one of the guys from that band goes to like, even Joe said, he said, will hardcore even exist anymore? Without but it's coming eventually. This is life. We all die, and that's just the way it is. But we're just saying, like,
I know, yes,
we're coming to that. You know, it's just inevitable, you know, what goes down. But when the key players are announcing like they're sick, and, you know, and they're having ailments of like that comes with the disease we call age, then, you know, that's something to just dread.
I know. It's like, you know, I see it with everything, you know, with life, you know, when we get into that age, and I'm like, you know what it is? I think it's important that we got these podcasts now, and that they're automatically going to be documented. Back in the day, it had to be put in a Smithsonian, and you had to go there to look for it and whatever. This shit will always be online. Hopefully, it will always be online or somewhere documented, where there's always going to be those kids wanting the real shit. Now, I think it's definitely going to go. I definitely think it's going to go back to the old days, as far as, you know, it never will be what it was. It wasn't what it was for the people before us. It ain't the same of what when we came up.
Yeah.
Except people like us, we grew with the times. We're still part of the times because we grew with the times. The other people grew out of the times. That's the difference, I tell people.
And luckily, this stuff is happening now.
Yeah.
So we have Roger on in a real conversation, because otherwise it's just those old zines with the same 10 questions over and over. Now you're seeing documentaries about Roger and Vinny, and they're there for the next generation. And there's young kids in PA that are so real that search for this old stuff.
Yes.
That they come out and they'll tell you openly, we're influenced by Killing Time. 100%.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? But we got our own little juice in there. And then I hear it and I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's and with this and with that guitar lead. Oh, damn. There's some real cool shit
I
going
seen
down.
it. All those new young Jersey bands, you know, all the freaking all the young kids, you know, Drew pushes a lot of those bands. They're coming in with the right old school attitude, like when we came into it, you know what I mean? With that type of vibe and that type of that whole swag, which is good. And hopefully, you know, it just lets that history linger around longer. So the history don't get lost. You know, we don't gotta all still play songs that sound like fucking Minor Threat or something, but bands like that belong in this scene. There should always be the Minor Threat sounding band, the AF sounding band, the straight edge sounding band. Like I always said it, I always loved when New York had the New York Oi band, the New York straight edge band, the New York Krishna band, the New York metal band, the New York, like every scene had to have your hit, you know, that was your military, like your line of defense.
100%. Yeah.
You know,
it's
and
like
that was the
Air Force, the Marines, the Army.
Yeah, I loved it. We needed to have our straight edge band. We needed to have our, you know, our hit band. You know, we needed to have the Oi band. You know, everybody had like, you know, you took pride in that shit.
Yeah.
And fucking, and I see a lot of these young kids. It's like either that real metal, new school kind of hardcore thing, or now there's that little revival with that old school shit that I like, that they're coming in with. They're coming in with the history part, which I like. So, and they're young, they're 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
And they know their stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, and you know why? Because guys like Vinny, guys like Roger, guys like Drew Stone, and older guys like that aren't like people from these other scenes that shit on the young kids. These people, guys like that, you know, always took in the, you know, they were around the young kids, didn't hide from the young kids, would always like show them love. That's why AF always gets love, you know. Certain that's why there's certain old bands that get love and certain old bands get no love.
Yeah, certain old bands get hate because they deserve it because they're a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
But yo, here's the story about AF years and years ago. You know Chris Mahmood from Reverb?
Of course.
Well, you know, we were in the band Mushmouth, me and him, and you know, we've been together for years, right? But every year he used to get a Christmas card from Vinny Stigma before we even knew Vinny very well at all.
Hell yeah.
And we used to be like, yo, this is the coolest shit ever. This dude is the OG, and he's sending cards to this band out in PA, like just right on point. Hey guys, Merry Christmas, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, man, what a fucking guy. And that guy it's always he was always inclusive, never exclusive.
My mother would get a phone call from Stigma. Rest in peace to my mother from Stigma every Christmas for fucking 20-something years. I'd pick up the phone and I'd put your mother on. I'd walk in the house. She'd be talking to him. I wouldn't even talk to him. He'd be talking to my mom's.
Yeah.
I get a card.
That's the last of the Mohegans. That's a dying breed.
Yeah.
But I hope people learn it here. And I hope somebody right now, young band, hears that and be like, yo, I'm going to do that.
You know why? It's funny you talk about this because I came up with this. I was thinking of this theory in my head. I think it was yesterday because I was thinking about like, I'm always breaking down our fucking, you know, our whole life, where we come from, our world. And I was like, back then there was two types of people in that underground street people. They were the gatherers and the scavengers. And Roger and those dudes were the gatherers. These dudes used to gather, break bread, and gather for the family. And they used to share with the family. And then there was the scavengers, the motherfuckers that were hyenas that went out there and fucking robbed from each other. That's what it was. And I know, and that's just a fucking fact.
100%.
And whoever, and that's the difference why those guys learned. Like Roger came from a family that had something, but it was a broken family, came up on the street and he took people in knowing, you know, like, yo, some people just don't got nowhere to go. You know what I mean? Stigma was like that. He always had, you always had a place to stay if you knew Stigma. It's just what it was. There was no way he knew you and you did not have a place to sleep that night. If it was his roof, his house.
Nothing but good things are said about him, you know.
That's just a fact. Yeah. I was a little kid and Stigma would come hanging out. And I remember he comes in with, yo, what's up, fellas? Before I knew him, I'm like 15 years old standing outside CB's. And I'm like, oh, shit, Stigma's, you know, he's chilling. He's like, yo, you guys coming to the show? Yeah, what's up? Oh, yeah, it's gonna be good. Yo, I'll see you guys inside. I'm like, he didn't have to talk to us. And we were like, yo, Stigma was just fucking talking to us. We were 15 years old, 16 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I how many times Elvis went up to some motherfucker outside and was like, yo, you're gonna go in there and fucking sing Hound Dog with me? you know, whatever. How many times, that's the difference.
The reputation with Roger and Vinny's impeccable.
But and it's crazy, but it's again a crazy world we live in, and fucking in the future of our scene is gonna change again. It's gonna this whole shit is changing. Like again, going back to the new music. This is why I was also saying, one, besides we're gonna get into you doing new music, but also doing new music in this time. Did you see this moving? All right, you kind of started pushing this. I mean, you were pushing it for a bit, but officially when you dropped it, you start like campaigning for it with how long ago? A month ago? 2 months ago? Like really
maybe I probably got it done like a month ago. And then we started searching for, who's gonna press it, who's gonna this came about right in like the middle of the pandemic. With Wisdom and Chains, I had a plan. I was like, okay, this pandemic this is gonna be great for us. We just got off the Persistence tour. Yo, we're gonna release the split 7-inch. We already got in progress with Sharp Shock, a little different style. Then we're gonna go right away. We're gonna have 3 videos ready, put out a full length. We got nothing to do except write. And then it just wasn't working out. It wasn't coming together. Musically, I'm not lying. 100+ songs musically. Not all the greatest, but ready to go, ready to be changed if needed. But
how many?
Over 100 tracks. Like,
Jesus.
I mean, this is over a long span of time.
It's still crazy.
Yeah. But it was all of us. We were here every day. This is where we would write.
Jesus.
Luke on the drum. Luke is coming up from the Bronx every day. Bam,
remember seeing you guys jamming. You guys on.
We were ready, but it wasn't coming together, and we kind of were getting frustrated. So in September, we had a little talk with the band. We said, how about this? We stop writing. Everybody do what they got to do. We'll start again in the new year. If people are down.
Yeah.
So within a month, I was bored as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I got to write stuff. I got to do something. So I bought some gear. I started learning how to record this and that, this thing, boom, boom. And I was talking to Luke. I was talking to Evan. Those guys are bored too. They're like, let me hear what you're doing. I sent it to them. They're like, yo, we like it. I said, then play it. Then come, let's do something with it. We got time to kill. At the time, nobody's working, blah, blah, blah. So they came in, they juiced it up, and I started learning I couldn't get the drums down only because I had a cheap ass microphone set for the drums. And I didn't want to record with a low quality kind of like my whole set was cheaper than the one guy's one snare mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we took the drums into the studio and we did everything else right here. The vocals, the bass, all the guitars. And we just said, fuck it, let's do something because we love music and we bored and we want to keep writing. We want to keep creating. And that's just how it started. It wasn't nothing like planned, but it probably went from last October I started and finally it's coming out this October.
How many songs from this that you have done completely?
I had 12, right? I had 12 songs, but I only had vocals for 6. This is way back. And the guys are like, yo, let's just narrow it down to 6. Otherwise it might turn into like a Wisdom and Chains thing. Like, let's get something. Like, we want something to come out. So we just 6 songs. It's 5 originals and 1 cover. And we just said, all right, let's just focus on these and put those other 6 in the back burner. They could go wherever later on if anybody likes them. You know what I mean?
And how was it? I know you sang before parts and songs. How was it doing vocals for this?
It was weird.
You had to do a lot more time. You had to do more hours, put in more time.
Oh, yeah. I only ever did backups. You know
that's
what
I'm saying. You would have a couple lines. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like,
so how was it this time having to do fucking?
I recorded them by myself, so nobody was like fucking with me. And I'll tell you what, I would lose my voice quick. You know, like I give props to the singers.
I was about to say, what props would you give singers for as trying the job out? If you had to give a singer a prop, which I would never do in person.
Well,
Any singer a prop.
You know, for singers that train their voice, because people you always hear that's an instrument too, your voice. And in my head, I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know nothing. You don't got no guitar, you know.
Hey.
But if you train your voice, yeah, it helps. Because I would do a song and then I'll be like, I want to do this other song bad, but it's shot. I can't do it. I bought some certain kind of throat medications, this and that, all straight edge, of course. I was doing some vocal exercises and I was singing early on. I was singing in a different way. And then I started listening to other music and see, like, I had to focus. What do you want this to sound like? Don't be all over the place. Like what, so I just figured something out.
Good. It sounds good. Like what I was saying, what's bugged out that you did it yourself, that, it sound, everything sounded like smooth. Like, even you singing, it sounded like you were singing for a while. Like, I don't know how long did you demo these songs? Like long before you did them?
No, not too long. You know what though? I recorded early on, a lot of the earlier tracks, I was recording them so hot that they kept on peaking. You know what I'm saying? They were like overloading.
Yeah.
And then I'm almost like, fuck. Like, do I got to redo these? But then I started listening to so I reset my stuff because I liked how they sounded, but I know technically this is a mistake. So then I kind of just set my EQ in a way where everything kind of had a natural little distortion, little fuzz to it, almost like a live venue, like pushing real hard kind of vibe, So I was like, I'm keeping those. Fuck it. I don't care if they're tripping out a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? Because I know if we were in the studio with a normal guy, Wisdom and Chains, he would say, Joe, redo that. It's too hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is not by the book. It is what it is. But I kind of wanted a dirty kind of live kind of vibe.
You always want that live, fucking more natural recordings. I know we always talk about that. You always
I like that stuff.
Yeah. And with that type of stuff, it could work because it had a little rock and roll feel with some of the vocals, like kind of like that's what I was saying. Like when I heard was I was surprised. I was like, oh, it sounds like he'd been singing for a while. Like there's guys that I could tell that is their first time singing and it sounds good, but it sounds like, okay, you could tell it just sounds like, I've
been singing for a while. If you count me driving in my car and playing Billy Idol.
Oh, if it's that case, I'm fucking Pavarotti then, because I'd be fucking driving around.
Guess what? I take it serious when I'm in that car, yo.
All right, now let me ask you this. All right, you're doing that now. What about live doing this if the time comes?
You know what? I think it would definitely need practice because, like I said, I did the guitar tracks and
you
then
did
I
another
sang.
Guitar.
I never guitar. One time in practice when we were just messing around writing a new song, we tried playing one of these and the guys were like, yo, it sounded pretty dope. But another thing with this band is a lot of overlays with the guitar. And right now it's just one guitar player.
That's what I was saying. And if you want to sing and play,
would have to practice.
Unless you're Stevie Ray, you would need also another guitar.
But you know what? If I put this out and people don't like this shit,
fuck
then there's no need to learn how to sing and play. If people like it, I'll figure it out.
But it's anyway, it's out though right now, right?
It's there's one song. It's 2 songs out now.
Okay, that's
one song was put out on Decibel magazine, premiered one song.
Dope.
And it's unlocked now. You could hear it on like Spotify. And just today, In Effect premiered another song. And we're gonna do some other premieres, but it's physically out in October on real limited vinyl. Then it'll be on all the digital platforms and all that.
Yeah, when's it out again? You said October?
October 28th, I think.
Oh, before Halloween.
Right before. In Pennsylvania, Halloween is Christmas.
Yeah, you know.
It is. You know what I learned lately? The rest of the country doesn't have a mischief night.
What do you mean? No, we had, it depends. You guys officially name it Mischief Night?
Yeah, some people say Hell Night, Devil's Night.
I heard a Hell Night in the movies, but what we used to have was, you mean like on Halloween?
Day before Halloween.
All right, you know what it wasn't that. When we grew up in New York in general, it just used to be like you would go bombing. That's what you would say.
Uh-huh.
We would go bombing. That was the equivalent of that. So a day or two before Halloween to Halloween, it was on. You're gonna get eggs. They used to throw eggs, shaving cream, or they would
toilet paper. The
And
toilet
neat.
paper in the tree.
You know what neat was?
No.
To remove the women used to use it on their legs to remove the hair.
Oh yeah.
They used to put in the eggs and stuff, and they would smash it on your head, and then you would go bald. You have
way.
Oh, we did that all the time.
That is awesome.
So you would take eggs, put neat in them, shaving cream, and then you would smash them on people's heads, and then next thing you know, next day is brilliant. People with little balls.
So neat is like Nair.
Nair, yeah, neat, yeah, Nair, neat. It was all that shit, and fucking whatever brand you prefer. I don't know.
So you guys did that too. You guys kind of.
Yeah,
but I talk to people in the other country. They don't even know what I'm talking about.
What people don't know about was throwing eggs. People look at me crazy about that. Shaving cream and throwing eggs was the thing.
Yo, and the funnest part about throwing eggs is when they gave chase.
Oh,
when the car would actually pull over and get out. We'd be like,
man.
oh, now what's up?
Listen, me and MQ would wait for the city bus to open the doors, and we'd just start flinging them, and that dude would come running out at us, chasing us, all types of shit.
That's great.
We used to do so much fun.
I used to love egging. I used to love it.
I
remember
know.
one time my friend was a dishwasher at this restaurant. His name is Mike, and he stole a case of eggs. It was like 6 layers of 24.
Oh,
and we hid him behind I had this old rusted out abandoned car in our driveway for like 20 years straight, and I hid it behind the car. And my dad comes home from work, right? And we're just sitting inside eating Doritos, talking shit, spray painting in our basement. And he comes down, he's like, yo. And we're like, what? He's like, the Easter Bunny left something by the car. And we're like, oh, he caught us. But we went out there. He didn't get rid of him, no, but he caught our spot.
That's funny.
Luckily he didn't throw him away. We had a killer night that night, bro.
Oh, that was so much fun. Like, and in school, it was fun. It was kind of like that. Like, you be a victim sometimes if you're walking from school. They get caught out there. You get But yeah, we didn't call it mischief. But yeah, Pennsylvania's supposed to be the spooky state, right?
Yo, highly haunted. It's a highly haunted state, for real.
Listen,
I'm from New Jersey originally. I moved out here immediately. As soon as I came, I was like, yo, at night, there's just something different out here.
And you know what? I believe it because I believe in that shit. I believe there's a lot of people that talk shit and a lot of people that see shit because they're so shook of shit. They see shit. Yeah. But I believe in shit.
Yeah.
If any more shit, no, but Pennsylvania definitely seems like one of these places. Massachusetts, not just because the whole witch fantasy, but that
both states are real historic. Too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That old America, like a lot of blood in those on that soil.
Like there's a what they call a general store by me that's over 200 years old that's still selling breakfast, and it's like it's like that for worldwide standards. That's not that old, but for America, a 200-year-old place is still going. And every like couple miles, you see this little tiny cemetery on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And this one and that one. I went to a cemetery once around here, and I saw this dude, and the name on the stone was Thundercloud.
That's hard.
Like, yo,
yeah, that's hard.
And I Googled Thundercloud, and he's like this famous dude from like back in the Indian times that became a model. He became, and I was looking at pictures of him like, oh shit.
Yeah, Thunder Lips. Yeah, that's a hard name. Yo, I believe in all that shit. Yo, let me tell you, I used to talk shit when we were kids, thinking Ouija board, this, that. Yo, Parker Brothers. I get some motherfuckers that make Monopoly. Let me tell you, that shit is real. That shit is real.
I used to bug people out with the Ouija board, yo.
Yo, let me tell you something, dude. I'm gonna stop saying.
My mom wouldn't allow that in the house.
Listen, my mom's rest in peace. If she knew I had that shit in the house, I would have got fucking same thing. And Beto's my fucking proof. We weren't kids. We used to have boards that we would make, and that shit would fly. And that shit, when we first started, we were like this, like, get the fuck out of here. I used to be that guy that would be like, if the devil's in the room, come kill me. I'll be the dick, because I'm like, whatever. We had that shit to a point, a board that shit would fly and answer some fucked up shit. And Beto's my fucking witness, because we had this shit rocking to a point, and I'll give you a quick one just because we wanted to prove that this is how crazy it was. So obviously we have this. We're around 15 years old, 16. We just started playing in bands, or I don't even know if we started officially playing. We must have just got our instruments or whatever. And we had this one board that they would answer a lot of shit to us. This shit is, it was like he said he was a little kid. It's always a little kid. And he would always answer like questions. And they always told us, you're not supposed to ask it the future. You're only supposed to ask a shit about the past. But we would say whatever. And we had this one kid that would come on and the shit would move quick. And, you know, obviously we're young kids or whatever. And, you know, me and Bane are saying shit like, so what's up? We're gonna be in the band. Yo, when we're gonna get, we ever gonna do a demo? You know, we're asking questions like that. And long story short, basically one of the questions was, we ever gonna do records? And it said, yes, but not together first. And we were like, yeah, get out of here. You know, we're in the band. We're always gonna be in the band together, kind of shit. And it says, you're gonna do records first, but not together. And then I said, oh yeah, what record label I'm gonna be on? And it said Road Racer. Well, Road Racer used to be the death metal thing. Road Racer broke up. That was the original name. Yes, broke up and became Roadrunner. Guess what? Demise broke up and we never recorded no record. Beto did his first record with 25 to Life. I did my first record with we did our first records not together. And my first record label was basically Road Racer, switched to Roadrunner. So, you know, that shit told us that years before. We even, you know, like, get at it. I didn't even know. And it was like, and it would say shit like, and it told my brother, rest in peace. It goes, you're going to, it's a desert storm. And they said, we win. And I was like, yo, this guy's talking about the war. He said, he didn't say desert storm. He said, I'm war in the Middle East. We win. We're like, what are you talking about? And this was before the desert storm shit started getting play on TV. We're like, there's going to be a war or something. And then that shit started coming into play.
Damn.
Beto tell you, and it was like, and remember, we were 15. We're not like little. We're like 15. We were like into reading the satanic Bible, but that was to like out of curiosity. Let's read this shit because that was the big thing to do. The anti-LaVey book, whatever. Yeah. So we were like, let's see all that. We were into all that shit. Like, let's see if this shit's real. All that shit had some type of weird fucking something happen. Yo, and that Ouija board shit though said a lot of fucking ill shit, dude.
Yeah.
That
I got one for you. Want to hear one for the Ouija?
Yeah.
I lived with Chris Mavromatis, our guitar player, way back before this band. We had bunk beds even, right? And we were doing a Ouija board. We had all these people in there. Boom. We had this dude named we called Tattoo Head because he was a punk rocker with a big mohawk. He had a bullet hole entry wound tattoo on one side and an exit wound on the other side. So that was Tattoo Head. So we're playing and we're like, you know, who we talking to? Blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, I have no name. And then why not? And then there's just nothing. Well, who are you? And it says, I'm Tattoo Head's, I forget what his real name was, son. And we're like, what the fuck? And Tattoo Head's probably 17, right? Yeah. So we're talking, this and that, and eating food. We're done with the thing, put it away. Next thing you know, if people are leaving one by one, it's like 3 a.m. Tattoo Head's not leaving. I'm like, yo, we're going to, you know, what's up? You staying here all night? He's like, yo, you mind if I stay over? I'm like, why? He's like, well, that Ouija board got me spooked. I was like, why? What's that all about? He said, my girl just had an abortion.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And that night, asked Mavromatis. Mavromatis is in his room. Well, he's in his bed. I got the bottom. I got it sheeted off. We got the window wide open. He's on the top bunk. The next morning, he claims, and you know, he's a scientific.
Yeah.
Dude.
I believe anything he says.
He claims there was something on his chest that he couldn't move. He felt like he couldn't breathe. The thing was in his face. He was trying to scream, and finally the thing jumped up and left the room. Yeah. At that same night. And I was always teasing him to this day about it, but it was the same night as Tattoo Head saying about the son and the abortion.
You know, again, with that shit and why I believe it, that's either two things, either that or that we use something to get that out like an antenna fantasy, you know, like that makes us tune into something because that shit was saying shit and moving. And it would say every time we were on it, Beto will tell you, it kept saying like in the middle of a convo, oh, what is this? I gotta go. And like real scared. Yeah. He's coming.
He's coming.
And then the one, I remember him saying Zeus and then goodbye. I was like, that was another one. And then another one, he kept saying he's coming and I'm real scared. I'm getting goose pimples now. And we're like, why? And he says, he's coming. We said, who? And he said, God, goodbye. That was another. I'm fucking bugging out right now.
Yeah. That's typical. That you got to let him go
Yes.
Yeah, you
'Cause
gotta let them go. And some
and-
dicks sometimes don't let them go.
And you're supposed to. We used to make them because when you make them, it's better. We learned like the real ins and out.
Yeah.
You know, when you make them, because you don't need to
make the actual board.
Yeah, like you could
Oh,
do it.
gotcha.
Well, you could use just cut out letters, and I think it's something where you actually doing it. Like you know how that thing works. You kind of really gotta. So you gotta kind of believe or want to believe it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, totally.
Kind of. I'm saying this. I don't care if motherfuckers out there think I'm crazy. I'm telling you, as a grown ass fucking man, and fucking Beto's my fucking witness. That shit, we had some real, not once, not twice, like a lot of real crazy experiences with that shit.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't fuck with that no more because I believe in it, and to the day I die, I know what happened.
So we said my mom wouldn't let it in the house. Your mom would. Would you, with your sons, allow them to bring it in the house?
No. And I'm almost down for anything. You can listen to this crazy death metal shit. Yeah, I don't phase that. Yeah. But now, like practicing, like these weird, like practicing things that ain't, if it ain't a hardcore lifestyle, I'm gonna have to really analyze it. Because one thing I can honestly say, if your kid is gonna come up as a hardcore kid, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be the best kid, but as a lifestyle, you could feel good about it. It's the scene ain't about drugs. I mean, there's drugs in it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about that family, everybody's included, stay together. It's a lot of misfits. Not everybody's the cool guy. It's like, I want my kids, even if they don't like the music, the lifestyle is how I think is perfect for anybody. Like, I mean, it's good for anybody. Like,
it's not like a negative thing.
No way. It's fucking great. It's like when you get the right kind of hardcore kid, you got a perfect machine. He open to anything. He could survive anywhere.
Yeah.
He's not like tough skin.
You got like nowadays with young people, it seems like they're very, it's hard for them to talk to people.
They can't.
It's a different. I see that with my nieces and nephew, like looking in the eye, or even like answering the phone or talking.
They're awkward. Like, they're real awkward. They don't know what the fuck to do.
So with hardcore, it's kind of like socially is such a big part of it, and it's what we all look forward to, just standing and talking out front. We never even want to leave the show.
I know. I tell people
that
the music is second.
Yeah, we had the last time we played with Agnostic Front, Germany. After the show, we didn't leave the parking lot. The guy wanted to leave. We don't leave. Blah blah blah. It's 7:30 in the morning. We got done playing. The show was over at 12. We're still just standing in the parking lot talking.
I know.
With dudes from 20 years old to 60 years old.
Yeah. Exactly.
What the hell is going on here?
I tell people that I go, the show is like the second part. It's the main thing.
It's an excuse to get together.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit. On top of that, we get to see some music. On top of in between talking shit, like we intermission the shit talking with some music. I'm
100%.
Like, and fucking but fucking, let me ask you the fucking name of this band. Where first of all, let me just tell you, right away I said Z9 is Z German. It sounded very German.
Well, honestly, I like weird stuff. There's a lot of reasons for this name. One reason I only told the guys in the band, the meaning behind it. So it's just for them, right? But the main thing that I saw with Z9 was it was a term that a secret society used because they had like coded lingo. And this term Z9 was so they could talk without people knowing what they're saying. And the term meant someone who was very dangerous because they have nothing to lose. So a Z9 to them was a person, like the most dangerous type of person who had nothing to lose. So that's where that term came from, a secret society.
I saw it was Z German from Z South side of German.
And a lot of people it sounds like some disco shit. I'm like, come on.
Disco Z9. That's kind of dope. We got to make some Z9 roller skates. That'd be kind of hard. Z9. But all right, and not all right, but all right, even the music though, it's different than Wisdom, right? Like obviously, it's got a different angle. And I also know, you've liked the whole, it don't sound like them, but I know you like the Lars and the Bastard stuff and that type of fucking rock and roll-ish. And then you like the certain kind writing these songs, everybody, even when you're just writing off the cuff, I'm gonna let whatever comes out, you in your head, you got your ingredients, which might be, I'm gonna make it a little Sabbath, a little this, a little that. What were some of the things you were thinking when you were putting this shit together? Or like in your, what were some of the vibes you were going on that you would have to, that you could throw out to
Well,
people?
with Wisdom, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Could be a real metal sounding song, a total punky kind of song, old school hardcore. We did whatever we wanted. We got away with it because we had a singer like Joe. He could kind of bring it in. We could do something melodic, could do something real hard in your face. So these songs, maybe they could be Wisdom songs, like they could be like the oddball 1 or 2 songs on an album, like more. But I wanted to be more focused with this one, and write songs that I'd be interested in trying to sing over, because I didn't even know, I didn't know if I could pull it off anyway. Yeah. So the vibe to me was like Cocksparrer meets Typo Negative. You know what I mean? Like a creepy vibe, but like street rock.
That's what I mean.
Some like I mentioned earlier, some Billy Idol stuff.
Yeah.
80s rock, just with the only thing keeping it in common was like melody,
Yeah.
So
but it don't sound like Wisdom stuff. That's why to me it didn't sound like Wisdom stuff. But like how Wisdom does rock and roll, because even like nothing of Wisdom. Like I said, I laugh because you always talk shit on Skins. Yet your shit that some people may say is the punk shit doesn't sound punk to me. It sounds like oi to me.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely. Like, it's more towards the Skin shit. Yet you always buzz balls on the Skins when your shit ain't even punk. It's more towards the oi shit, which. Skins, you know how we do.
Yeah. No, I love good oi. I love good oi. The only, I'm not being a dick. The only problem is there's not a lot of good oi.
Yeah.
But the good bands, like the Cocksparrer, I don't know if you're into them or not, but this is a band that just writes anthems. And they're going, I think their 50th year anniversary or something.
Yeah,
like
some shit like that.
And it's the original guys. And when they play, they sound great, but they write anthems. But it's got heavy oi influence, but so early in oi that there's a lot of rock and roll in it too. You know what I mean? And so I definitely had that vibe in mind, but more with a little creepier element. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely got metallic. It got a metallic overtone to it in general. Also,
just with the tones, the guitar tones we choose wouldn't be like old, but it was we went real dirty on the bass, like a real dirty kind of vibe. Doubled up the bass track, something we never did on the Wisdom record. So if I did these same songs for Wisdom, I would have wrote them a little differently. Definitely, you know what I mean. They could have been the same riff and worked out, but I would have definitely changed like timing up and certain stuff like that.
Now let me ask you this. So okay, you a guy who you work with a label. You also put out records back in the day, the original style, from doing demos on tape players to the 7 inches to putting out the Wisdom stuff later, and doing that. Now, with that being said, now you put out this project that is just it's just coming out. You got 2 singles that you just put out in that way. How much easier is it now? Obviously, we know it's easier to spread the word internationally. You could get it out quicker, but do you see the buzz catching quicker this way in general for this? Because you're doing it. Because I'm asking because it's during a pandemic. It's a new band. It's like I'm wondering. Oh, are people buying new music? Is it still like that?
It's hard because it helps that we're coming from Wisdom in Chains, and there's a little bit of like some people like it already, so they might be interested in it. And but it's hard to get people to listen to a band that never played live and is coming. If they do really like Wisdom, maybe they'll check it out. If they're just casually like Wisdom, they probably won't even check it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing we really got going for us.
Yeah.
I think if people check it out, they might end up liking it, but it's hard to get them to make that first listen. It is. Because we're getting the word out through the internet, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But that's just to our same people, like a regurgitated thing. Like you see, like the turnstile, like the machine behind that, billboards, magazines, playing on BBC. Like that's what a real label could do. And
of course,
it even happens less and less nowadays. But look what it does. I mean, it takes nothing away from Turnstile because you got to have the songs anyway, and they definitely got the songs.
They're killing it right now.
Yeah, they got great songs, but then they also got the promotion
for sure.
So everything we do is me fucking dropping something and hoping somebody shares it. You know, that's it. But that I'm lucky to have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I'm wondering, because it's a new project, but you're doing it during the new time. You know what I mean? Like so I'm wondering, like, you know, how shit works in general, like, because it's crazy that you could say, you know, you almost did records during like different eras, from doing demo tapes by finger, then putting out the 7-inch, putting out CDs, to now digitally.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I look at like album sales or CD sales from like my old band, I mean, it was, if I had those sales now, it'd be like number one on the Billboard.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I remember I was selling like 30,000 CDs of a CD that was kind of like a compilation of all of her stuff back then. And back then that was kind of shit. And you know, to the labels, like, okay, now forget it. You know what I mean? That's like a Billboard charter. But back then, the bands that were really doing something were selling 10 million at a clip, you know. Now bands are on the Billboard selling 30,000 copies, 20,000. It's the number one in the
no, for sure.
It's crazy.
I remember even I remember early budgets for the records, you know, even us, you know, how budgets were
100%.
and how they changed and all that type of shit and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what the fuck.
I talked to some hardcore bands that still exist today. I don't want to say names, but they probably don't care. And they're telling me like budgets they had like 250,000, like to make a record. And I'm like, what? Wow. And I'm like, and then they did this and they did. Now forget it. I mean, recording doesn't cost as much as it used to either, but still, the promotion, there's no promotion now, like for most 99.9% of the bands.
Absolutely
so
not.
This is a real small print of vinyl we did, real small, just to have something physical. And those are selling good. And you could go to Fast Break Records if anybody wants to get that. It's just vinyl, and then it'll be out digitally.
And how many songs are on songs are on the vinyl?
6 total. It's a 12-inch vinyl with one side. Everything's on one side. There's 5.
What's on the other side?
Originals. Nothing. I'm gonna tag it.
Nothing.
It's flat. It's like, they said that's an option. I said, yeah, do that. I like that. Man.
That's crazy. I never even thought about it. You gotta flip it over.
Yeah. So it's like a 12-inch vinyl, all 6 songs on one side, nothing on the other side. I'll tag it up. Boom. Very limited press. And you know, it's, if people buy it, that's great, you know, because and unfortunately the press is so small, and it was pressed here in America, and pressing times right now are like almost a year sometimes.
Crazy.
So luckily we had it in with this rapper dude that does vinyl, and he said, I'll get them to you in like 4 or 5 months, but I can't do a big press. The problem is when we ship these to Europe, and Cortex is doing the pre-order in Europe, unfortunately, it's almost like 50 beans for fucking one vinyl.
Wow.
But but between the shipping, which is crazy, and as a label, these records cost us almost $20 a piece just to press anyway. It's ridiculous. It's the worst format, but it's the only thing that people buy a little bit of anymore.
I know. It's fucking, we're forced to, people don't even know that the shit, like,
I wish they bought CDs. I press a CD for a quarter a piece now, but nobody wants them.
Nobody wants them.
I guess I'll take a vinyl. Some people like, okay, it cost me $20 to make it. Here's for $25. I made it $5. Tip your fuck. No, I appreciate anything.
Right now they go, okay, UK opens up or somebody. They say, yeah, we want Z9 to come. You go play? You guys would go play? Are you guys?
Those other guys in the band, they would play in 2 seconds. You know,
that's what I was saying.
They're fiending. They want to play. They miss music so much. They go to every show they can.
I know.
You know, they want to make music. They want to play music. So yeah, we would play, definitely. I mean, we would need practice though.
Yeah, of course. And is that the plan with this band? Like, you want to, because I know you pushing it, and that's why I wanted to put, to do this also. I was like, I know you had, like, I saw a lot of play online. I was like, yo, let's bust that, let's try to keep fucking the momentum going. Because
I appreciate it too.
All new music is very necessary right now. And, to keep, and also everybody, regurgitating the same fucking shit. I was like, we need that new shit, new flavor, new things happening, even old bands doing new shit. It's been a little stale out there lately.
Yeah, and I think this is different enough. It might not be the style somebody might like, but it's definitely not what's going on right now. It's like it's its own thing in the mix right now. So listen, if you wanna diversify your musical platform, throw Z9 in the mix. That's all.
Yo,
You know,
why
that's all we're
aren't
saying.
you playing fucking Keystone on Pajama Jammy Jam? Do I have to fucking threaten Joe Hardcore, Mamoon, or what's up? What I gotta do for get Z9 on this day? You know,
Well,
you should
you know
be
what?
headlining.
We
Which
coulda
night you
played. We
headlining?
coulda played.
Which day you headlining?
We could have played, but I knew we wouldn't be ready. Wisdom could have played, but Wisdom's in disarray. Everybody's going
That's
nuts.
what I was gonna go to
They-
last because it wasn't about wisdom. This was about
Yeah.
Z9.
Well, I'm just saying, like when we were booking that, and you know, Mahmood and Joe Hardcore do the majority of the work.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy who says, "Hey, man, everybody having a good time here." You know, I just go in the mix for that. But they, of course they all. I just want to make sure that people know. Of course they offered, to play. But I didn't think Z9 would be ready. And like I said, I never even attempted to play and sing these songs yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if people are interested. And I'm the type of dude, if you ain't interested, then that's cool. Respect.
No, people want to see
You know
that
what I'm saying?
shit. I want to see that shit. And because and I think it's good to do new music because I also got another project that I was on standby where I do some vocals and I play, and it's on. I've been working on it for a while, but it was on standby for a minute, which is gonna drop.
Yeah.
Look out for that True Union shit, everybody. Don't sleep on it. But so I'm always I always like when people are, trying something new. And especially that during this pandemic, there was a lot of projects that, let's just do a pop-up project. That's cool and all that shit. But I'm glad that you have something that you're willing to play and like, hey, I'm down to play it and keep putting music out. Cause that means, you're having fun putting music out that you'll still keep putting music out, even if you're not playing shows.
Yeah. And I'm sending songs to other dudes for other projects, and whatever.
What else you
whatever
have?
goes.
Is there any other projects you working on besides Wisdom?
I got something that's kind of like a Portishead kind of vibe. You ever hear Portishead?
Yeah, of course. Don't take my skin complexion. Don't think because I'm brown that I don't know Portishead.
Well, I thought if I said
I know white
Merengue,
people.
you'd be like, oh yeah,
Ándale. Yeah. Yeah,
yo, my
I know
whole
white
crew
people.
today was Ecuadorians today.
Hard.
The whole crew.
Shout out to all my Ecuadorians out there. Hard.
The guy was 3 foot. This
Of
guy.
course.
His name is he goes by his first name. I always thought it was his last name. His first name is Gallo.
Gallo.
With one L. Gallo.
Gallo.
Yo, this guy, he's probably 50 years old. He also makes the dopest jewelry, Jesus pieces, everything. But this guy, there was a fucking rock on the ground. This guy, he's like 3'5". He picks up the rock and he puts it in the dumpster. That it would take 3 of us to pick this rock up. I couldn't believe it.
It's that apocalypto blood. I'm telling you, I got it.
Dude.
Amazing.
I had to stop him at the end of the day. Yo, we're leaving, bro. He's on. No, I'm good. I could a little more. I was like, yeah, but we're shutting down. That's it. Okay. Like, dude is an animal.
Yeah. Do you think
Gallo's
did he come through under the wall or did he come on an airplane?
I think.
Yeah, come on. He didn't come on that wall. He came on an airplane. All right.
I think so. Gallo. I mean, he's just been around for. He's legit.
Gallo's hard. Shout out to all my Ecuadorians out there.
Yeah.
Let me ask
they
you
love
this.
That koi,
yeah,
baby.
koi. Yeah. No, listen. My part of Ecuador don't eat the guinea pigs, but shout out to anybody. Yo, do you whatever floats your boat out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's up?
Another dude we had today. We talked Segundo.
Segundo, yeah, I know a lot of Segundos. My father's friends.
And Segundo, and I have an uncle named Primo.
Yeah.
That means the firstborn. So I knew he was the second child. I knew he was the second boy because his name that basically means number 2, right?
Well, no, but Primo is the first one.
Yeah, that was my uncle. That's what I'm saying. I have an uncle Primo. That was I was like, why Primo? Because he's the first guy born.
Yeah.
They call him Primo.
Primo
and
Carnera.
then Segundo. So I was like, yo, years ago, I was like, yo, who's your brother? You got an older brother? He's like, yeah, how you know? I was like, because your name is Segundo. That's how I know. And now we got his brother working for us now.
Believe me, you'll have the whole family there in no time. Let me tell you. You know how we do? We're like roaches. We infect. And
yo, dudes are hard. Good family men.
Yeah, of course. And workers. Apocalypto. You've seen those movies. We build freaking nations. Nation, we chop your head off. and what's up with all the other guys? So obviously these guys are good. I know Joe's around. So real quick, what's up with Wisdom? People might get a little scared when they see, they like the Z9, they like the new shit, but should people be scared that, obviously, you guys, as it was, kind of pick your spots as it was when you would play and stuff. But people might get a little scared after the COVID, less shows, now a new band. Should people be shook that they're not going to see Wisdom anymore?
I mean, it's likely that, we got one show that was booked before the pandemic, and they bought the plane tickets for us already, and then they changed the date. And, we're gonna play that show. Of course, that's October 30th in Salt Lake City.
Oh, I thought you'd be there for Halloween.
That's the only thing we got. Other than that, I mean, listen, it just, I'm just being honest. It seems like the end. It seems like, the interest level is at a complete low. The morale's at a complete low. Like I said, 100 songs in, and we still couldn't get stuff done, and frustration, and this and that.
We're gonna have to have an intervention, a hardcore intervention. I'll get Stigma. I'm gonna get Roger. I'll get Blood Clot. What we're gonna do? What we're gonna do? Watch. I'm gonna do some Dr. Phil shit.
We all know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever. You don't try to revive the dead. That's a sin. That's you know the Bible.
You know. But that's why we got Z9.
Z9 is a fun thing, and I don't know if I'll ever play that live either. I was like, when I made it, I wasn't interested in playing live, but I definitely wanted to write. I definitely wanted to learn how to record a little bit, so it kind of Z9 definitely like scratched the itch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure. I know you always were writing shit. It's dope that you took it that far. Like, all right, we got songs, wrote it. All right, now let me write a bunch of songs. I'm gonna sing it, record it, do the whole thing for it, and you do this much. That's what I was saying. If you put this much work into it, it sounds good and all that, you should be willing to play it if the time or the opportunity came.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If I think so people, this is kicking in, people like it, and somebody offers us a show, I'll definitely tell the dudes, you guys want to play this show?
Listen, you're gonna be listening.
That's how I operate with Wisdom too. The
right reverb show, the right spot. Yeah, you come off with this band. You know what I mean?
Listen, when Lars hits us up and says, Rancid needs an opener, all right. I guess
you want me to pull these strings? When I pull strings, people start choking.
Yeah, tell them.
He said,
I reached out in the beginning. I reached out to a lot of people because I wanted the first thing I wanted to do was put out a split. A split. And I was like, maybe Old Firm with Z9 split.
Yeah.
But honestly, and I don't blame them, nobody was really interested. There's a band they never heard of.
Yeah.
That they don't even know what it sounds like. They're not going to say, but I rolled the dice. But that's how I wanted to come out with a split.
Gotcha. That would have been a cool idea too. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully now after this, the next thing I want to do is just a split, Maybe another cover
that's
song
dope.
and
Listen, you know the deal, how this world works. We got to keep putting out, we got to keep feeding it, music, content, and what's up? Let everybody know what's up with Post America.
Post America, the last thing I did was a while ago. Now I got to put something else. It was with Carl Earth Crisis. It was good.
I know.
Got a lot of good feedback. And Carl's, he's a great guest. And
the best. That guy's such
I got stuff lined up.
Favorite. Yeah, listen.
Very authentic.
You keep me going in the gym, and then when you take too long, it gets me a little bit mad, because I like my shit coming. You get me too invested, and then you leave me hanging in the gym. And
a lot of people were like, just do one alone to hold over until the next guy, and I'm like, maybe I'll do that because there's so many questions that come in. But then the thing is, I look at the questions, they're from like 2 months ago. And then there's ones from like 2 days ago. I don't know which ones. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I got to just do an update. You know what I mean? Just,
you absolutely got to do it because it's just like there's always shit that you miss. It's like fucking, like I tell people, these things we are the news for our world. And get it pure while you can before this platform gets tainted like the other ones. Don't think this one won't get tainted later on. So. Everybody, that's why I tell people to subscribe and tune into all our shits because get it from the source while you could get it from the source. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm so thankful that people listen to this stuff, right? It's like,
absolutely. All over the world, I get all the time hit up from all over the planet, and it's bugged out people waking up doing, spending the day with us. That's why I'm like, that's why I take the shit seriously as much as we have fun with it. As good as well as I do. It's a lot of work, and we've been consistent with it because we wanted to show people. A lot of people I could start a band. I'm gonna start a this. I'm gonna start a that. Yeah, it's easy to start shit, but to fucking to ride something out and and nurture some shit to make it into something. That's the part that 9 out of 10 people don't have. And something about me is when I get into something, you know, we get into it. We fucking obsess over it. You know, we really get into it and we go for it. You know what I mean?
And then I'm embarrassed if I don't follow through. I get embarrassed. I feel
exactly.
Like I can't show my face.
We talk so much shit. We got big mouths. I said, I'm going to do a podcast. After I talk so much shit, I had to come hard. You know, I said, I'm going to do T-shirts. I'm going to do this. And and then the next thing I know, I go, why did I say that? But when I do it, I always say that. You know, no matter what, I say, you know, if you're going to do it, you got to go big, 2.0, everything. You know, you got to go for the best. My father taught me that. He used to tell me, yo, you don't say, oh, we're going to try to pop that off. No, we're popping that shit off. You know, you got to go in with the mentality of winning, you know, and working. So.
And your merch is looking dope.
Thank you, man. Grinding, you know, again, in this day and age, we got to fucking do it all. You know, again, I really don't know the future of what's going to happen with us. You know what I mean? Like, the lay of the land is whatever. We will always play wherever we are allowed to play, living by the laws that we live by. And who knows how long that will be, but it is what it is. So, but you know, this world is our, you know, our everything. You know, I mean, not just us, you, everybody. So it's like this podcast is something I'll always be connected to. My merch, you know, the YouTube channel that I'm dropping. Everybody tune in, not just to tune in, but this is how we're gonna keep tab with the world from now moving forward. If you don't hear us in your ears, you know, with the music, you're gonna be catching us through here. Or when we do have music, you're gonna be getting it here first, because we never depended on anybody to spread our word, and we still not gonna depend on anybody to tell us how we do our thing. You know what I mean? So that's why we do this. You know what I mean? That's why we do our shit, our podcast the way we like it. We have whoever the fuck we have, you know, whatever guests we want. You know, we do the music we want. We say whatever the fuck we want because we are in control of what we're doing. And we're very lucky to have that freedom in our own world right now. Because in the bigger world, we do not have our freedoms. Yeah. So
yeah, we get like calls from like Dave Mustaine's manager. Oh, we want Dave on the podcast. I say, get the fuck out of here. I don't talk to Dave Mustaine.
Like,
we want Marilyn Mansing on the pod. I don't talk to Marilyn Mansing. I talk to Freddie Madball.
That's right.
That's who I talk. I choose who I talk to. No manager asks me nothing.
Luke Rhoda, where is he?
Luke Rhoda, where are you? Ray, get Ray on the podcast.
That's right, Ray. I'm gonna have Ray. But I'm gonna put his on his thing, and I'm just put bars like flashback. Yeah, I got his whole shit. I'm gonna step up with the graphic. I'm gonna have Ray come drop a fucking. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it like when you have a visit. We're gonna do the whole shit when he pops in. It'll be like a visit. Ching ching.
And then he puts his hand on the thing for you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yo, what up, Ray? Yeah, what up? And we move the slot. Yo, welcome to the Smokin Word podcast. Ching.
Yo, you see Ray's cook game? He looks like he's a good cook.
Listen,
like on Instagram, he looks like he knows how to cook.
Listen, I think he really got his cooking game is freaking top level. But the problem is his calorie count for me is too high. You know, I'll ruin all my hard work hanging out with Ray. I'm trying to get my banana hammock body ready for the summer.
Yo, you looking good too. Seen the one picture with your son, and the tricep was like these down. Like, damn.
I'm trying.
Definitely doing push-ups.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of push-ups. That's my new shit. Like, if I can't go to the gym, do push-ups. And everybody out there, I hate doing it. I hate them, but do them. Do whatever you got to do. Move because
bust them out in between something, right?
Yes,
just do it.
This is what I learned. You know, people, I can't do I can't do this, I can't do that. While I was talking with my sons at the table, they were just talking shit. I said, let me do a couple sets of push-ups while just talking shit. In between talking shit, I was doing 3, 5, 7s. You could Google them what they are. Basically, sets of 15 or whatever. I ended up doing 150, 100 something, not back to back, but taking my time doing the run, doing it, talking, hey, whatever. Oh yeah, joking. In between, hanging out with my sons, you end up doing 150, 100 something push-ups. It's just a matter of you doing them, you know.
And that's a workout in right there. Yeah,
of course, you know.
And so right there, you prove you don't leave the house, and you can't use the excuse you don't have time.
There's no everybody out there who says they got an excuse. I'll tell you right now in your face, you're full of shit. So you know what that means? Then you sleep an hour less, then motherfucker. How about that?
Right. Fuck
Because
sleep.
you know what? If you want to live longer, then I think you could deal with 1 hour less of fucking whatever mail order bride, whatever these fucking stupid shows people are watching. You know what? Watch 1 hour less of that and fucking
That's
do
right.
some. Or how about do a half hour less? How about
Yeah, you
that?
bust out. Yeah, or just like you said, I'm a push-up guy. That's the only
That's
thing
it.
I really do.
Walk. You know, not even to
Yeah.
talk on some hell, but nobody's there. I'm just saying, like that whole. I made excuses for my life. You know what? I'll start on Monday. You know what? I'll start January 1st. Yo, you know what? I'll start when I get back from tour. Yo, you know what? I'll start when my workout shorts get here. You know what? I'll start when there's a discount. You know what? I'll start when you're dead. That's when you're gonna start when you're dead. Too late when you're dead. So you know what I mean?
When you're dead, you look nice as slim.
Yeah, you're like, I want to fit in that box. I want to look, you know, I said, I don't want to pay my people to pay extra for a triple X box. You know what I mean? You know, fuck that. I need to, I'm economizing for my people ahead of time.
Smart. You're just looking out for the people. That's all.
You know, I'm telling people, but I'm like, that whole shit is like, yo, excuses or whatever. But again, I ain't telling people you got to go out there. I'm just saying if that's what you want to do, you just got to do it because
get it done.
It's done. It's done.
Get
and
done.
Fucking and what else? What else is after this? So you just chilling. And then next one, are you practicing with the guys anytime soon, or do you?
October 2nd, we're supposed to get together and practice for Wisdom for the October 30th show in Salt Lake City. That'd be the first time in maybe probably a year that we even jammed out together. So yeah, I mean, music wise, you know, I was with the other dudes, but that'll be the first time. So we're gonna get a good set list together, go out there, play that show. We're gonna, you know, I'm still writing other songs, other projects, plus for Z9. Good. But right now I'm just trying to push this I'm not sitting on a big nut and this vinyl. I want to get rid of this vinyl. You know
That's right. Let everybody know right now. Again, get that vinyl. Where they could get that vinyl right now?
Fast Break Records, probably Fast Break Records or fastbreak.com. Just Google Fast Break Records. And then we got a pre-order for this Z9, and we also got a pre-order for another band we're putting out called MH Chaos from Chicago. If Madball ever needs an opening act of just vicious little serial killer, beautiful hard music, MH Chaos is sounding dope. But both of those were pre-orders right now, coming out at the same time.
All right, that's dope. And Z9, any shirts? You guys got shirts out?
Yeah, with the pre-order, there's options for a t-shirt and a hoodie. And you know, they look dope, you know. I'm going to make some more merch. And
no, hell yeah. Listen, everybody out there, go get that shit. Support that shit right now and repost that shit. Smokin Word Podcast, Post America Podcast, Z9. Make sure you spread that word. He got songs dropping. Repost that shit. Repost this fucking episode. Subscribe. I tell everybody how important it is to subscribe to everybody's podcast. You know, because again, we are the word from, you know, we are the word from the street, meaning all of us, you know, let's support the word while we still got control of what's getting spoken about. You know what I mean? The word of the street. Right. So, yo, Richie, one love. I'm glad you were on. Tell all the fellas I said what's up.
Thank you very much for helping. Thank you very much.
No, you know what's up. We gotta keep, you know, feeding this fucking hardcore world of ours, and fucking everybody go cop that shit. This shit drops Thursday. I think, what day is it today? That shit drops tomorrow. Dude, we ain't playing games.
What, this goes up tomorrow?
Listen, it's going up tomorrow.
Wow, you fast, huh?
Listen, you know, we got a whole power plant. Listen, the next year, Casa de Rock is doing next level shit. We're taking things to another level with the podcast, with the YouTube channel, where hopefully next time I'm going to have you live, come down to Florida, and we're going to do that shit in the studio, in my studio, at fucking Casa de Rock, print house, secret location. You know, we're trying to do some shit for the fucking culture. So, yo, everybody, one love to fucking Z9, one love Richie, one love to Wisdom and Chains. Yo, we out.